think that it's the least talented sport on earth. There's a reason 3-year-olds can play soccer. You run around and kick a ball. Landsberg said, you wouldn't say that if you were in Brazil. I said, dude, I say this in every country. When you're playing a game where the net is this big, right, and the score is 3-1, are you shitting me right now? You know how untalented you have to be to score 3 points when the net is this big? Now in hockey, you have guys on skates, right, with crooked sticks where they have to hit a puck into a net that's the same size as the goalie. That's a sport that the score should be 3-1. Shut up!
Yes, guys, welcome back to another edition and another daily dose of a jab. Cool. So let's get into the video. So today what we're going to speak about is what is it like to play for a billionaire? Do you even know a billionaire? Have you ever met a billionaire? Do you know what a billionaire is like? Do you know what their mannerisms are? Do you know their living? Do you know how they are as people? I'm going to get into this video. So I played, for a team called Cavalry FC in the Canadian Premier League, and definitely one of, if not my best experiences in football, hands down, period, and something that I'll never ever forget. So it is run by a actual billionaire owner. And the reason why I actually like to bring that up is because before getting to know a billionaire on a level, I used to think these people, a lot of money, very secluded from society, which in some cases might be true. However, in this situation and this scenario, it is far from the truth. So I think that when the more money you get, the more life maybe you get to see. Obviously, it is within itself and it's actually self-explanatory that the more money you have, the more freedom you have, right? So I think different experiences come from that. And even in football, high paid, high earning footballers, they get to live out experiences probably many of the world never get to experience, right? So obvious, sometimes it can get to your head. Sometimes money you get, and this is not even on a billionaire level, this is just on a high middle class or upper class level, right? You can be well paid and you can get ahead of yourself in what you're doing, and you can start treating people very wrong and different from how anyone should ever be treated. But this is far from the truth. I had a billionaire owner called Linda Southern-Heathcott. In Canada, there is a CPL, or even in the MLS actually, there is a salary cap. So you cannot spend a certain amount or over a certain amount on players' wages, manager wages. I don't know the ecosystem and the logistics behind match day costs and all that rest of it and what the league provides and whatnot. I'm not sure with that, right? But I do know full well that players cannot be paid over a certain amount. They can't be paid under a certain amount either. So that is tied in so the league becomes sustainable, that they can flourish and they could be around for many years. So the league got created in 2009 and we're now in 2026 and the league is still thriving. There's been a few teams that have vanished by the wayside. They're not along or they're not around anymore, and that is very sad. And sometimes that does happen in football, but when you're producing a new product and obviously you're doing something so big on this scale across a whole big country, which could be a continent in itself and is half of the continent of North America, it is very hard logistically to keep up with costs and being able to provide financial support to support a league such as the CPL. So obviously that is the first thing. You can't spend that much money. So do you get to see the money? Do you, when you're around a billionaire, is money flying around, like you're seeing mad cars and you're driving this and that? Nah, it wasn't like that. So players, we didn't get to see the money. Everything is nice though, in terms of where we were training, where we were playing, you looked after, everything was covered. So you had a very fantastic time playing for that club, and I'm sure they still do. That club is a great experience. Now, meeting her, how is it going to be? How is a billionaire? Like, how is it? And I do think that people do make the mistake that they're normal people at the end of the day when it comes to side, on the outside and the exterior. Don't get me wrong, phenomenal extraordinary people. To amass such wealth, you have to do something extraordinary in this world to do it, and to keep it as well. It's very difficult to keep, and also to keep generating more wealth in the world. So you have to respect them on that level. But in terms of a human level, me personally, I respect everyone the same. When you're meeting these people, you're thinking, how are they? Like, your first perception, and most people in society will calm down and be like, you're different around a billionaire, for example. But listen, she's somebody where, listen, she's a normal person. She's someone that you got all the time in the world to speak to you, that obviously very ruthless about her business, someone who respects the sport. And obviously what she was doing is show jumping and other things like that at Spruce Meadows, and obviously her other businesses. But when it came to football itself, respected the game of football, and also humble enough to learn about the sport, because when she's come into this business model, she hasn't known or hasn't really grasped the actual concept of football and how it is different from other sports, for example. So they're learning on the fly in terms of, in football, it's just different. Football is a religion. Probably the most liked thing in the world and ever. I would put any religious person up here, and then underneath that, it's football. Put it that way, pretty much, yeah? We're always humble enough to learn and also evolve of their ideas and what they could do. So for example, I do remember suggesting, I take credit, yeah? I do remember suggesting that because the pitch is always snowed over in these cold conditions, and it's always hard, and it's very hard to maintain grass pitches in these climates, I do remember that I suggested that maybe you cover it in certain seasons before the game, and also cover it where it's not actually used by anyone else. For example, they were using it sometimes for horses, they were using it for other events. So I did suggest that cover the pitch if we're not playing it. And they're humble enough to listen, because that's how they've amassed so much wealth, and they've amassed so much knowledge in the world, because they'll listen and they'll learn. They're not someone who's with their nose is high in the air and they're looking at you thinking, what does this person know? They'll respect you and your opinion and what you have to bring to the table, because in life, everyone has something to bring to the table. So yeah, something that I do remember. Also, you want to talk about what financial rewards or bonuses did we receive? I do remember at the end of the season, for a very good season, we did receive a little financial bonus at the end of the season, which was very nice. I think it was just before Christmas as well. So yeah, I think it was something that was very well thought out of, and you consider it in doing that, because she didn't need to. And then also, I do remember, so a story I can share with you guys, yeah? Got red carded. No, I didn't get red carded. Rewind, yeah? The game, we were celebrating because we had just drawn away at Forge. I do believe that we drew away at Forge. I don't think we won the game, but I think we drew the game away at Forge. It was one of them games where we scored. So we're all gassed, we're all happy that, listen, the ref, everyone was against us, the fans, all that type of stuff, yeah? It was one of them games, innit? So we were all celebrating. Their players come over and said, why are you celebrating? Who do you think you are? And then we've like a little tussle, and obviously I'm gonna show it below here of what actually has happened in the game, and yeah, thrown in it. So I was one of the culprits that they've picked out, right? And they've said it's been JordanAntonioBrown who has been involved in this and caused the whole madness. So fast forward, I've got summoned to a hearing in Ottawa where I've had to put on a suit in front of suited people and people behind Canada Soccer Association or FA or whoever does the refereeing association. Listen, I can get into that and them type of people in another video. So comment below if you want to hear what I got to say about that. But when I've gone, I've had to travel all the way to Ottawa. Bear in mind, Calgary is on the west side. Ottawa is on the east side. Yeah, to go all the way there and travel all the way back. And then we had an away game in Edmonton, which is a 3-4 hour drive from Calgary. So in order for me to do all of that, long story short, I would have missed the game. Yeah, I wasn't able to do that. So because they wanted me to play in the game, the only way I could make it to the game was getting a private jet, bro. And what did Linda do? She said, yo, I'm getting Jordan a jet. She said, this is the joke. Can't stand for this. This is atrocious. This is the disgrace. We are fighting this. I'm getting you a jet. You're going there. You're winning the case and you're coming back. I said, what? Yo, I was in the office, got told, yeah, saying that doesn't agree with the situation. You're going to go to a jet. And what is it like going on a private jet? Yeah, it's mad. It's not much check-in, quick service on the plane, Wi-Fi, you can order pizza on the plane if you want to. There's like to the pilot, sit next to the pilot, all that type of good stuff as well I experienced. So went down to the tarmac, jumped straight in the car, went to the hearing, jumped straight back in the car waited for us at the hearing, drove back to the airport, chilling in the airport in the lounge, waiting for us to get called back on the flight, jump back on the flight, go. That simple, literally. So yeah, it was good experience. And yeah, it's one of many great experiences playing for a lovely woman, a lovely owner, and also a billionaire. So in this video, I summed up what is it like to play for a billionaire owner. Not many people have done it. Not many people have experienced it, but I have. So I've let you guys know in this video. If you liked it, make sure you like it, comment down below, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also doing a lot of giveaways in my channel on Instagram. Any other things that I've pinned are down in the description below, whether that is sponsors or any other deals you can get 10% off and things that are very useful to you and can help you as well. I would never promote something on this channel if it didn't make sense. And also, I wouldn't want to ruin my credibility, because credibility and respectability gets you so far in life. So make sure that you take that little message with you and use that in your day-to-day life. But yeah, it was another daily dose of a jab. I'm out. Peace.